Hello, I'm Sean McFarlane, sports journalist, contributor to Outdoor Fitness, triathlete and coach. I'm here today with Dougie Vipond, broadcaster, musician, and also taking part for the first time in the Braveheart Triathlon.
Yes, I am.
How are you feeling about it, Dougie?
Well, apart from the swimming, the running and the cycling, I'm fairly confident. No, I'm very worried because this is the first time I've done any kind of triathlon at all, really, and it's a massive undertaking for me because I'm not a sports person and I've not really been a sports person throughout my life. So I have fairly major concerns. It's the beginning of June now, and the event is in September, and I'm worried.
Now, what are those concerns?
Well, concerns one majorly is the swim. I'm very worried that I might not get through the swim,
Okay.
and that's a serious concern at the moment. I've been a cyclist for the last 10 to 15 years, so 56 miles on the bike I'm not hugely worried about. Trying to do it efficiently will be important, however. The run, I'm not even looking at it as a run, but for me it's a run along the road and then a walk up Ben Nevis, then a walk back down. I mean, I'll try and run the up sections and the down sections, but ultimately it's a run along the road as far as I'm concerned, and a walk. So mentally I'm thinking that's okay, potentially. But the swim concerns me majorly. Yeah.
Sure. Well, the swim is going to be a concern for many people, so we'll look at that, and as will the bike and the run. So let's look at all three of them. From my point of view, though, you've obviously presented the adventure show up here in Scotland for over 10 years now,
Yeah.
and you've been around triathlon type events and extreme events for a long, long time, and you've interviewed many competitors over the years,
Yeah.
at the start, the finish, and during. You must have some unique pearls of wisdom that I'm actually very interested in, intrigued by. Can you give us some of them?
Well, pearls of wisdom, you do pick up things from people. Certainly, I mean, I've interviewed you many times as part of the, competitor in the Keltman and the Braveheart and various things over the years. But I hoped that I would get fit by osmosis by hanging about with athletes. Turns out you can't do that. But one thing you can do is you can pick up snippets, because I often ask people why they do endurance events and how they manage to do endurance events, and the one thing they all say, and you included, is that you can't think of it as one big thing. You have
Sure.
to break it up into little bits, and even within the three disciplines in triathlon, you break them into small bits. Like one of your great phrases is, you don't eat an elephant in one bit. You eat it little by little.
I don't eat elephants
at all.
that much, but
exactly. Maybe you should increase your nutrition. But
Yeah,
you're
sure.
taking things on slowly. Little bit by little bit.
manageable chunks. Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's pretty important. That's the one main thing I've picked up, that people, you don't look at things as a whole. You got to look at them sort of small bits at a time.
Great. I'm glad you're listening. That's a great start. Great start. There's going to be people watching this thinking, yeah, that sounds good, nice swim, quite a long swim, a big bike and then a massive run, but okay, he's doing that, but why? The biggest question I get asked, and I'm sure you've been asked it a lot as well recently, so why are you doing it?
Look around you. We're at Loch Venacher. It's a beautiful day. We're sitting within some amazing landscape, beautiful countryside, incredible views, and I love being out and about in that landscape. I like going walking. I like going on my bike in it, and now I've discovered, as a result of a bit of training, I like running in it too. It's a fantastic challenge, and it's kind of pushing your boundaries and finding where you are as a human being within this glorious landscape. And I love connecting with that. It makes me feel alive. I'm breathing fresh air every day. I feel better. I feel healthier. I'm worried. I'm probably more stressed than I ever was, because as the days go on towards September, I am worried. But I need to keep reminding myself that I'm doing this for fun. Mm-hmm. I'm actually doing this to finish it, but I need to enjoy it. I need to remember to enjoy it as we go along. It's a huge undertaking, but one that I'm really looking forward to.
Great stuff. I know you didn't mention swimming in that, but we'll come on to that later on.
No,
That's fine.
I'm ignoring that.
So Dougie, I've just noticed that you've got an elbow support. What's the story there?
Well, the story is that I've been diagnosed with medial epicondylitis.
In other words?
Golfer's elbow.
Okay.
So I've got golfer's elbow. It's an issue and a problem that I had back in January, February. I noticed this kind of twinge in the elbow. We're now June. It's now chronic. And I should have sorted it out earlier, but I haven't. and it is now becoming very uncomfortable. Weirdly enough, manifests itself. See, putting my bike in and out of the car, when I get to that point, it absolutely squeals. It's basically an inflammation of the tendons on the inside of the elbow.
Okay. I'm glad you're getting looked at now. The race isn't until mid-September, so there's plenty of time to get it fixed. But I'm glad you're getting looked at now. But it does represent a problem that a lot of people have, that they do the hard work, they do the training, they put in hours, but then small things begin to flare up and they do nothing about those things. Things like what you've got there, things like on people's feet, they get bad blisters, they don't cut their toenails, also problems with people's backs, they don't do any strength and conditioning work. As people pick up training, these smaller areas then begin to flare up and they do nothing about it.
Yeah.
And they can become chronic. So we should actually do a feature bit in the Fitness magazine, because it is a big issue for a lot of people that I speak to and work with in doing these bigger races. So don't forget about the small things, and I'm glad you're getting it looked at now.
Let's hope it gets fixed.
Good. Well, let's talk now about the swim, which is your biggest concern.
Yes.
And it's going to be a concern for lots of people. I tend to find in these races there's a lot of people that are okay on the bike and on the run, but the swim does concern them, so you're not alone. I think the most important thing in the swim for you is quite literally just getting it in the water at the end of it in the time limit. I think you'll do that, but there are some things that you really need to focus on. You've obviously been swimming a little bit up until now, not that much. I've had you in open water a few times, and you're still, I think it's fair to say, struggling, aren't you?
Yeah, big time. Big time.
I think one thing that will be a big factor at Braveheart, as it is in all triathlons in Scotland, really, is the cold water. So we need to work on what we call a cold water response. So that is a routine that you can do before you enter the water, essentially. So you obviously go in partially, splash your face with water, get your system used to about to go into cold water. What far too many people do is just go straight into cold water, and it shocks them and it doesn't help them swim.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's important. What is also very important to help you cope with the cold water is what you wear, and that may sound very obvious, but there are a huge range of accessories now that you can wear under your wetsuit or over your hands, over your head, over your feet, that will help with acclimatising to the cold water.
Yeah.
So let's have a look at all the kit that you can and will wear. It's important that you practice on that before the race. And then what's also important at the end of the swim is having a transition, so a T1 that has perhaps warm clothing in it, or all these things that will help you get warm straight after the swim. So when you're in the swim, you're able to focus on that and know that quite soon, hopefully, you'll be in warmth. Okay.
Yes. So let's specifically about gear as well. We're in the beginning of June just now. My real worry about the swim is that back in February we were in a training camp in Cyprus and my swim wasn't great, but it was improving. I don't think I'm much further forward at this point, actually. In fact, I may have gone back since then, which is slightly worrying. But also wearing gear under your wetsuit to stay warm. We've talked a bit about this in the past, that wearing neoprene vests, neoprene shorts, and then wearing your wetsuit over the top. Yeah,
that's a great idea to keep your core area as warm as possible.
Does that increase buoyancy as well?
Yeah, it does. It does, and a lot of good swimmers would say, you don't interfere with your buoyancy, but I think that you need all the buoyancy you can get, as do I. So yeah, that's no bad thing. Also, the other classic thing is to cover your extremities. So boots, hands, and particularly your head as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, I have a tendency to I get tired, and breath. Getting my breath is the key. And when I'm not getting decent breath, I panic. And so, what kind of things can I be doing to try and alleviate that? Is it just experience, more training, more time in the water, or are there specific things that I could be doing?
Well, it is a lot about time in the water, but the breathing is probably the main problem that people who struggle in the water, especially open water swimming, have a problem with. It affects your whole stroke. What you tend to find is that people will do everything to get a breath. So they do what you do actually, which is to turn almost on their back completely and looking at the sky. By far and away the best thing the best way to work on that problem is just to swim more. But you need to swim in a controlled environment and an environment that you're happy in, so hopefully not particularly cold water to begin with, and just get your confidence up. What we're trying to do with you as a musician in Deacon Blue, and as the drummer, what we're trying to do is get a drumming tune in your head.
You would say develop the rhythm method.
I
hope not.
But
But it's true though, it makes
true.
sense.
It's I actually, yeah, there are certain songs by Deacon Blue that I know that have a rhythm in them in terms of drumming that will help you in swimming, I think, and it's a lot about getting what you're good at into what you're bad at, and helping you improve that thing you're bad at by what you're good at, as it were.
Because that is a key thing, I think, because obviously sitting at a drum kit, I'm very comfortable and I'm breathing properly, and I'm relaxed and I'm fine, and I want to have.
And it's difficult.
Yeah, and I want
drumming's difficult. I couldn't.
No, exactly. So I want to be in feeling in a similar sort of relaxed, rhythmical, comfortable place in the water. I think that's kind of exactly what I want to be, and it's hard to do that. Yeah, it's difficult.
Just getting into rhythm is key. So we've established that hopefully you'll get to the swim, and I'm sure you will. You'll bike 56 miles, and you'll get up and down Ben Nevis unaided. But how do you put all three together? And that's the most common concern I get from athletes and participants in these races, that you can't put them all together. How can you do them all in a oneer? And there's no easy answer to this, but if I had to be asked, if I had to say what the key thing to really focus on to get you through, it is nutrition. And it's a big area. The key thing I focus on with athletes is steady grazing rather than sporadic overloading. What people tend to do is think, oh my goodness, I've got this big hill to go up, whatever, and they load up a whole lot of stuff which they haven't had on their system before. So you need to be having nutrition slow and steadily, and also experiment with the type of stuff that works for you. And you'll have had your own experiences in the last couple of months in terms of what works and what doesn't. Yeah.
Well, I've been in a situation when I've been on the bike, and I was bonking basically. I hadn't taken on enough stuff, but I had pockets full of bars and gels, and I didn't want anything that was in my back pocket. Horrific. I mean, I knew I needed something.
So you need nutrition, but you didn't want what you had on you.
And there was no way I could eat what was in my back pocket.
Because you can't stomach it, because it's products and it's gels and it's things that don't taste good.
Well, you know, when you bonk, your mind doesn't go particularly kind of sensible. But what I knew is I didn't want any of that stuff in my back pocket, even though I had, you know, lots of calories.
Even though you're carrying up a mountain with it,
I was carrying up and I thought, I can't eat this stuff. I need proper food.
Well, a lot of people make that mistake, is that they actually want food and nutrition, but they don't want what they have on them. So,
which is a bit stupid.
It's stupid. But practice with, I say to people a lot, experimenting with actually real food as well as the products, and just getting used to having that amount of nutrition into your system come race day. Because what people don't tend to do is practice with actually taking on that amount of nutrition in the course of a training run. So you need to also condition your body to be able to take that amount and that volume of nutrition on board slowly, and also to process it and to give you the energy that's required.
Obviously you can't take any nutrition on during the swim. Advisable to have stuff on in your tummy beforehand, or do you wait until you get onto the bike?
Well, I personally don't, but I see people that start swims taking on gels and stuff. Again, experiment in training with what works for you. Some people can't swim straight after they eat something. So again, experiment with what is best for you. I wouldn't take anything on until I come out of the swim.
Right. And also, I guess your best opportunity for taking on lots of nutrition is on the bike, because once you get on the hill and you're running, I mean, I tend to not able to eat. I'm not able to eat. I can take on lots of liquid if I'm running, but not great at eating while I'm running.
In your race, the advice that I'm giving you, and I think this is it's good advice for a number of competitors, almost everyone really, is use the bike first and foremost to correct your nutrition. So when you come off the bike, you're perfectly prepared nutrition-wise for the mountain. The actual time that you take to do the bike is secondary. The bike course, in my mind, at Braveheart for you should be about getting your nutrition right, getting everything on board you need in a slow and steady way, so you come off the bike in great shape for the run, as good as possible shape for the run, shall I say. And that for you, and I think other competitors, should be the main focus of the bike in this year's Braveheart.